All right guys, we've got a 18 gauge Craftsman battery operated nailer. Problem is that firing a nail causes the firing pin to stick and not retract back. So I'll show you how to get into the cover, or take the cover off and lube up most of the mechanically moving parts that will then help allow the firing pin to retract naturally. So to start, let's grab a T10, and you got how many screws here? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of these screws that are all the same. And then you've got 2 screws right here, also T10 I believe. And then you've got 1 screw right here, which is a Phillips too. So we'll take these all out. Down here. All right. So to recap, we took these T10 screws, Torx 10, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you got 2 screws right here. Looks like those are Torx 20. So take these 2 T20 out. Okay, so I'll take that out. Leave the screws in here. And then these screws we can take out. So two of the screws are longer. These 2 are longer than these. And those long screws go down here. A couple stragglers though. And then don't forget about the Phillips 2 right here. Alright, seems like that is unscrewed, but it's kind of stripped, so it just kind of sits in there. Alright, so turn it back over to this side here. Once you got those screws out, you should just be able to grab the plate like that, and then you can set that aside. Alright, when I took the plate off, the trigger mechanism came out, but I'll show you where all the parts go back together. This little spring at one side of it sticks into there, and it kind of just stays there. Kind of turn it on there, but the trigger came out, and also a pin. So here are your trigger mechanism. So set the pin. How this goes back in is the hole ends up with the hole up here. The spring goes down into the little, I don't know what you call it, little slot here. So if you line the hole and the hole up and then put the spring in the slot and then push the trigger down in there, that's where it goes. And then you can carefully put the pin back in the hole like that. And when you test it, you can see that it pushes this little actuator thing. All right. So I'll show you all the parts, because what happens when the firing pin sticks is when it shoots the nail forward and it sticks like that, it can't freely retract. Now the reason is because this little, if you take, there's like a piece in here that is meant to push or compress the firing pin between this pulley and this mechanism up here, because it compresses it and then it allows this motor to turn the pulley and fire the pin forward. But over time, if it gets dry or dusty, the pin can't release back naturally because this mechanism up here won't depress it. So like, so basically, if you just take some of this WD-40 Specialist dry lube with PTFE and spray it along all of the mechanical parts, it should resolve your problem. And I'll show you a couple other things that I did that also help the pulley to move freely. So first thing we're gonna do is take apart everything so you'll know how to put it all back together. If you can't, you know, if you take one of these cards out, motherboards or battery terminal. So first, you can take this battery thing that connects your battery. It just slides in and out of these two tracks right here. Very easy. This thing right here is a trigger lock mechanism. This, we already know that is your trigger. And then grab the pin, right? There's a black, blue, and red wire that wire down through these two channels here. All right. So these wires lay in the channel, and then this little actuator thing that works with the trigger. It lines up with those two little plastic prongs, kind of here and here. So let me get to the angle here. So they kind of go like that. Just like that. So that's how that works. Set that aside. Kind of pull this little motherboard with the lights out. It just goes into this slot right here. This little motherboard here slides out. There's two channels like there. They have a red and black cable. The black goes on the top, the red is on the bottom, and that orientation of the board. There's another little piece right here which connects to the motor cap or plate or cover, and it kind of just goes in that little slot right here. And it's kind of hard to get in there, but once you get it in there, you'll know it's in there. It can't really move, just like that. Kind of jiggle it around. If it's secure, then you know you got it in there. So that kind of comes out. This piece should stay, but it connects to the nose. You know, you just gotta, if it comes out, you can like kind of connect them back. So just line the two metal pieces up and it goes together like that. So what else? We got that out. That's basically it. Before we pick the components, before we pick this whole piece up off of the back plastic, I want to take the motor cap off. So a T20 will take these 4 screws off. That's just a plate cover for the motor. And the reason I take it off is because the pulley, little wheel and the bearing that turns the pulley, doesn't really, it wasn't really like turning freely. So I noticed that when I took the plate cover off, it kind of freed up, and I blew it out with air and then sprayed it with WD-40 Specialist. It kind of allowed the pulley to move freely. So there, just like that. So what I'll do is I'll grab the clip, and then it kind of connects here, and it connects here. So you just kind of pull it straight up like this. Now there's another actuator down here. I'm just going to kind of leave the whole thing connected to the one spot right here. Looks like there's another Torx screw you can take off. All right, so I'll take this. This is T10. Torx 10 screw right here. And then another kind of actuator trigger. Just kind of comes out. It sits in those 2 prongs right there. All right. So here we've kind of got it all apart, but still wired. Now you've got your pin. This thing is your bearing on the top. Turn the motor. So what you can do is grab some of this WD-40 Specialist dry lube with PTFE, and I'm just going to spray out kind of all the mechanical parts. This is the guy right here that is meant to sandwich the pin and the wheel bearing where the motor sits, so it can grab the firing pin and then drive it forward when you click the trigger. And then when after it fires, the top piece, when you go like that, it's supposed to release the pin and not sandwich it anymore. So like, it'll release and then the pin should fire back So if it doesn't do that, you got to kind of first blow it out with air. And you want to get it really good with shooting air. Additionally, you also want to open that thing up. Make sure that there's no nails in there. You want to blow the nose out as well, really good. Okay, you also want to spray that with PTFE. So, kind of just like that. Probably get a little bit of time to dry. All right. Oh, also want to get it in here. All right. Okay, so here's all your parts. You know, you got your 2 covers, all of your wiring parts that are still attached. You got your 4 screws for your cap in here, and your other piece of plastic that we can try to put it back together now. So first was this piece over here. So there's like the light hole right here. Let's go like this. Here's the channel right here. Just like that. And then this wire kind of sits in a channel right here. This is the black wire. There's a little crease right there that it sits in. I'm gonna move that out of the way. And it loops around. Another channel. And then the black wire goes underneath that circle, half circle, right there. So then you gotta fit this trigger in. I think I had it upside down. Just like that. Just like that. All right, so we got the trigger in, the little green motherboard with the lights in, the track, the wires. This wire kind of loops around this half circle. At this point, I'm gonna just kind of set it back into the plastic. And so it makes point of contact down here, and then in here, it just kind of forms together. All right. So I think think we could put this motor cap back on like this, so green, white. And also there's these two pins on the inside that depress, so you just kind of want to like angle it on there and then try to snap it in there just like that. Get those pins pressed to allow the bearing to seat in. All right, let's put these I think these are T20. Put these T20 screws back in. Don't over tighten anything. Like if you're gonna use an impact driver, I wouldn't. Just use hand tools or like a small hand electric hand tool like this. Just kind of snug them down, and then I kind of give almost like a quarter turn where it's tight. All right. So now we got there's this little piece right here. Slide it into the black channel that holds it in place next to the motor. Slide the big motherboard through the two channels that hold it. Just like that. This thing came out. All right, what else? Let's, there's some extra cables like right here. You kind of just shove these down in the cavity. Set that aside. And red, blue, and black. They fit in these there's like plastic channels that these sit in, just like that. Let's set this in first. So the battery connection goes in the channel right here, just like that. And then you can set these wires kind of where they're supposed to be. There, there. And then the last one right here, this little button is supposed to connect like right there. This guy likes to fall out. Make sure nothing falls back out. There we go. You got your, make sure this is connected right here to that. And then you got your battery terminal, your wires, your trigger actuator thing. You got your motherboard, you got your mini chip, mini chips, your wires. Kind of tug these. Make sure none of the wires are going to be like around the casing where they'll pinch it, or like around these screw holes. Make sure that's all kind of clear. All right, and then finally you want to put the trigger sets in. So this kind of thing right here is your trigger safety. Your trigger. See there, this is kind of in the way of that circle. So we're gonna move that black wire up. Just like that, and it goes behind. So then that circle can meet up without interference. So get the spring in the slot, and then put the hole into the hole, and then push that over like that. There. Oh, we forgot something. We gotta take everything out. Forgot to put this thing in. So you got plastic and a screw. Kind of goes like right there somehow. When you place it there, it kind of grooves in and you kind of know you got it where it needs to be. I'm gonna grab a T10. Definitely don't over tighten this one. It's just plastic. Okay, let's try to set this back. And maybe most of our wires can be kind of placed back. You got your 2 channels here. You got your guy here. Button's good. Gonna shove these wires down in there. Out of the way. That's good. All right, let's resume. Set that there. So you got your screws on the caps, you got all the wires in the right place. You know, not going to be pinching the plastic cover or anything. And let's try to put the cover back on now. Here we go. Make sure that thing works. Start putting the screws back in. And you got the 2 longer screws down here. All right, T10, Torx 10. Okay, and then let's put these. Let's put this plate cover back on. Screws are already in there. I just left them in there. These are T20s. Turn it around. There's that one screw down there. I believe that, so that's a Phillips 2. I think mine is just stripped, so it doesn't actually connect or anything, but tighten it up. All right, so we've got this, make sure the button clicks, make sure that this thing moves the pin head up and down. Yeah, this feels good. Load it up and fire it and see what happens. Okay, so when I shoot it, it's got very low power. So what I'm gonna do is first kind of just take the nails out. It's not driving pins and nails in there. So, god dang. Take the nails out. I'm going to try shooting it blank, see what happens. Okay, so it kind of sounds weak. I'm going to move it all the way to the back, this side. Okay, do it again. Okay, it's starting to sound stronger. Weak, strong. So just kind of go through resetting the gun. Now move it all the way to the front. Start doing it again. These are all blanks. Shooting blanks. All right, let's set it back to the middle here. Let's throw some nails back in it. Let's go shoot it. So you kind of got to reset the gun. Oh, I might have just let go of the board. It's kind of flimsy. There we go. All right. Good to go. All right. So yeah, you kind of have to reset the gun by shooting it blank like 10 to 20 times. Play around with the nail head adjuster. Also, I read on the internet, if you take the battery off and then just hold the trigger down for like 10 seconds, that's kind of supposed to reset the gun to factory settings or parameters or whatever. So you could try that. Yeah, man. Here we go. Craftsman 18 gauge battery nailer. That's how you take it apart. Hey, what's up? RJ here from RJ's Workshop. Do you guys have one of these Craftsman? Try that again. Do you guys have one of these Craftsman? You guys have one of these Craftsman nailers, battery operated, and does the firing pin stick after you shoot a nail? Well, let me show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. So, shoot a nail, and let's say the nail does not fire. Well, what you do is what you do to reset the nail is you can undo the top, and then you hear the pin slink back, and then you just tighten that up. Sometimes if you once you unlock the magazine lock and it's still, the pin still doesn't really. Does your Craftsman stick like that? And then to fire one single nail. Okay, so I fired one, and then I'm gonna try and fire again, and that one did not fire. So, like I said earlier, to fix it temporarily, you can undo this, and then open the magazine, and then kind of just jiggle. Kind of jiggle it after you do that, and then the pin fires back. Oh, I need the battery. I need the battery.